that what appears to be a lone gunman carried out these attacks. We've identified a name, and at this point, a full investigation is taking place. The FBI will be in the lead, working closely with local law enforcement.
Back now to our breaking news on what is being called a domestic terror attack in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And that was reaction from President Obama just a couple of hours after we learned that 4 Marines had been killed and 3 others, including a police officer, sailor, and another Marine, were injured in the assault on 2 military facilities. Joining me now, Wisconsin Governor and newly declared presidential candidate Scott Walker. Great to see you, Governor. Thank you for being here. And so Charles Krauthammer came out tonight listening to the president and said he errs on the side of downplaying the threat of radical Islam, describing this man as just a lone gunman, and cited other examples with respect to the underwear bomber who called an isolated extremist. And then, of course, there was after Benghazi, where he refused to call it a terrorist attack. Does he have a point?
Well, first off, before we say anything, we need to keep in prayers the families of those 4 Marines and certainly pray for those 3 who've been shot for full recovery out there. But yeah, we have to acknowledge, even without knowing all the details in this instance, we need to acknowledge that we're at war and radical Islamic terrorism is our enemy. And it's not enough just to have containment anymore. When you talked about the policies that prohibited our military personnel from being armed at an establishment like this, those are outdated. Containment was something that might have been good during the Cold War, but we're facing an enemy in radical Islamic terrorism that's willing to take the fight to us, and we need to make sure that our men and women in uniform not only have the resources to protect us and keep our country safe, they need to have the resources to keep themselves safe.
And that's, of course, in the moment. But on the broader scale, when you listen to Comey saying, I can't do it. I'm trying, but I can't. This is 8 days ago, a week ago. What more could we be doing, should we be doing here domestically to help the FBI, once these people get here, from unleashing hell?
Well, that sort of response is just absolutely unacceptable. Our primary responsibility at the federal government level should be in all these other programs and services we provide. It should be to protect our national security interests, to keep us safe and sound here in America, and to do what's necessary around the world. Well, I think there's a number of things. I was one of the people who spoke up and said we should have reauthorized the Patriot Act. I think we need to have the resources there, and I think this is worth re-examining. I think we need to give resources where appropriate, not only the FBI, but in other levels of the federal government, to make sure that we can actually protect not just the men and women in uniform, but Americans here. We are under threat. Again, this is like a virus, and if we don't take it out completely, it's going to keep coming back and attacking the host.
I want to shift gears because this video from Planned Parenthood has made national news, and their so-called doctor is on there celebrating how she crushes the body parts of fetuses, celebrating how she just did a 17-weeker that morning and talking about what she got in her harvest. You've come under fire in the state of Wisconsin for mandating ultrasounds for women before they have abortions. Your take on how this video changes the debate?
Well, it really does. Years ago, when I first became governor of the state of Wisconsin, my first budget, I defunded Planned Parenthood. I took some attacks from some in the media and some on the left, but this video is just a prime example. This is not a non-controversial entity. This is obviously a disturbing, disgusting act that they're talking about. We've outlawed that in Wisconsin in the past. We need to be defunding Planned Parenthood, not only state by state, but I think across the country, and instead put resources into women's health issues, but put them into non-controversial entities, public health entities, or other things in that regard.
Okay, but the challenge to that is Planned Parenthood, controversial though it is, helps a lot of women in this country get birth control and prevent unwanted pregnancies, which would result in abortion.
But in our state, we took the money, we defunded Planned Parenthood, and we put it into other entities. In many cases, we put it in the county public health services. So there are better, non-controversial ways to do that that can still protect and provide for women's health, but not do so in a way that aligns with a group like Planned Parenthood. And this video is one more example of why defunding them is so important.
Governor, welcome to the race. Good to see you here officially. And we'll talk more. Thank you for being here tonight.
Look forward to seeing you in person. Thank you.
See you, sir.